Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and we have another update to our Chayula Flicker Strike Monk with maybe one day some Wind Serpents strikes also. Now, what have I done these days? I haven't been able to play that much, but still, I got enough currency and items to do all content available to me right now. That means that I have done all tier 3 bosses. I haven't done the Uber Arbiter because it's very pricey, and to be honest the loot really sucks. Maybe as a kind of thing, when I already craft my weapon I will do it. Now this is some clearing that I'm doing on the background. I got way better gear right now, and I'm using a different skill to clear because it's actually I like it more because it also leeches more for other things. And let's stop with this, and let's talk about a little bit of the build right now. As you might expect, we are a college of Chayula. We are using evasion and energy shield. Well, surprise, I know. Around 10k evasion with our 3 stacks of wind dancer. When the mob has blind, it gets even stronger. We do have some blind effect, 20% from the skill itself. We dropped a spirit. At the beginning I was going to do some custom crit things, but after thinking about it, it's better to play only with one hand spirit and have wind dancer and charge regulation. Now let's go into the skills again. These skills, forget about them. I was trying to get some for crystallize immunity, but it doesn't work. And now I also need to get fast metabolism because we have this annoying my build bricks. Now, of course, I'm also going to show the new items, cool items that we have. They are a little bit expensive, but this build, to be honest, some people have done budget builds on it, but I want to get as much damage as possible. Funny thing that I haven't still gotten a super good weapon. It's only like 400 DPS, but I will craft one, and that's my next goal. I'll try to get like 60 divines and then go into a crafting spree with an exceptional base. Now, my quarterstaff strike, I use it to pop my volatile thingies. If you don't know what volatility does, I will leave the thing over here if you can read it. Basically, you get added chaos damage for each stack that you explode, and even on bosses I can explode like 20, 30, 40. There are also chances to get the volatility back, and then you can explode it again. And then I have rapid attacks, as much attack as possible. I don't care about the damage of my quarterstaff strike, so I have as much attack there. Then cadence. You also can use the rage support if your strength supports it. My strength didn't support it before, but now it does. So I can use it if I want instead of ice bite. Actually, I'm going to use it. I have to remember later. And then Ritual Ferocity. This is in my weapon set 1. You can see here, this one. So it will get 20% more attack speed. So if I take this Catharsis off, I have also on number 3, just above my W, so it's easy to use also Flicker Strike, and also next to E and R. And then you can see this attack, of course, is always free. But if you use it, of course, more than 6 times, you are going to get a little bit cocked, let's say. But even without it, we hit very, very fast. At most, I use like 2 or 3. You won't need more, because even if you proc once or twice, your volatility won't have problems with those. Then have Into the Breach. Remember, now they fixed it and you can't put spirit supports for free. So now we have, of course, harmonic remnants and remnant potency. This makes it so the remnants that we get randomly gives us a little bit more power. We get more mana, more health, and also extra damage as chaos. These are a little bit underwhelming. I actually like them when they lasted 10 seconds. Now they only last 5. But they also made it so the Mantle of Destruction one lasts a lot longer. Instead of 8 seconds, they last now 20. This is now a very strong one that we use with Chaos Mastery for +1 level, prolonged duration, as much duration as possible, and then elite chains and charge profusion. I also was using delayed gratitude for a while, but now I don't build that much combo, so I'm only using mantra on destruction every 8 instead of every 7, sorry, because I have 20% fight. Of course, none of these are level 20 yet. I haven't kind of cared that much to change things. Now, Combat Frenzy, I remember on the last video that I did, it was bugged. Now it works again with freezing the Tempest Bell, so that's a good thing. And of course, we freeze the Tempest Bell quite a bit because we also get unraveling thingies, and most of the time it will eventually get to freeze build up, and then you will freeze the bell. And I have Ice Bite on my Will and Assault right now. It seems very clunky, and it can be clunky, but you have some attack speed, it's not as bad, and also clears a little bit better than my Ice Strike. It's of course lower, so you may get buffed on other things, but it has a lot of physical damage, and when you get extra damage, it also leeches quite a bit compared to Ice Strike. With Ice Strike, I was having problems with my new belt, the Soul Tether belt, because we do leech health from our physical and our chaos damage now, but we don't have any chaos damage by design. We need our purple flames or to have volatility up. Of course, if we had an Against the Darkness that gave chaos damage over here, it would also work, but it's very not ideal because we get so much already from the flames and volatility that getting some extra would not be that good. Of course, if you do want it, you can get this 11% damage as extra chaos, and it will work always. Now the volatility point that we use much is this one, but let's keep talking about the gems. Tempest Bell with Overabundance, this way you can put it down and keep building for the next one. Pinpoint Critical, just so it creates more to get more volatility. Armor Break, so it can break the armor of bosses mainly, and even in pools we do get endurance charges that get converted to frenzy charges. And Withering Touch, we have enough chaos damage. This Withering Touch will help us get armor break. I was going to try and get the Breach Lord wand, but I looked and it was like 5 or 7 divines. I don't need that much yet. My Will and Assault, of course, volatility. Every time we crit, we are going to get the volatility stacks. Ice Bite, we are going to freeze mobs when we proc the Unraveling Freeze, or the bell itself, and we will get that 25% extra cold damage. It also doesn't increase the mana cost. If you have problems with mana, use Efficiency or Life Tap. My ideal support is the Atalui's Bloodletting something, whatever. It will give me like a ton of extra damage, because the cost is like 300 mana, and it will be even more when I have a +7. They will be like 400 mana. You will get like you get 2% per 10, so a ton. I'm really good at math, sorry. Then Rage, you have more attack speed while you don't have maximum Rage, and as you might expect with Hate Forge, we don't have maximum Rage quite a lot. I also have to buy better ones. I had minus 2 because they were very cheap, but eventually with my breakpoints on Rage, I would want a -7 or -6 would work for other things. Then Close Combat, so it does more damage, and then Ancestral Call, because while clearing, and even when you have the bell, you can kind of cheat. Then for example, if the mobs are on the map device, I can safely use my William Slash over here, and I will pop 2 copies that will hit maybe if I have a bell there to hit the bell and the enemies, and also from charge staff we shoot projectiles. The copies do not shoot projectiles if I see it correctly, but you do while you are William Slashing. Volatility, Blind, 20% increased effect. Same here, Pinpoint, so we get that extra critical chance, as around 77% something, you can get a little bit more. but nothing crazy. Cold exposure, so we get that 20% or 10% elemental damage extra on bosses, and then elemental armament, just more elemental damage. Charge regulation with Atlas Exodus. This is not the super pricey one, and it just gives +3 on our charge regulation. When we have a level 21, it will be level 24. Infernal Cry, I also have to kind of level this a little bit. I have to check my breakpoints for strength. And I get 40% damage extra fire when I use, for example, my bell or my Wheel Assault. And I can even get an extra one here for the Raging Bright thingy to get rage from this. But I have Withering Touch, so it withers enemies, but you can take Withering Touch off and put like more area or extra cooldown reduction, although cooldown reduction is not that needed because we can use 15 rage to bypass the cooldown. Tireless is so I sometimes don't get empowered, so if I empower for example the bell, and then sometimes I can also empower my Whirling Assault, it works for the whole whirl. And same thing, Fire Mastery, +1. Hand of Chayula, we are with a Sniper's Mark and Despair. Remember, your Despair needs to be at least level 17 or 18 to affect all mobs, otherwise if they are lower than something, it won't go. Hit and run, so we do it very fast. If we have moved a little bit, we need to move 10 meters, as you can see over there. Maybe put the ND 1 second. And then Chaos Mastery works on both my Hand of Chayula and also my Despair. Hand of Chayula, of course, also gets empowered by our +2 melee skills. Trigger Strike, I have a level 19 right now. I will even show you why a level 21, but it's very pricey, so not what we want to do right now. And Perpetual Charge, so sometimes you don't expend the charges, and if you don't expend the charges, it is very strong for several reasons. Inevitable Critical Strike works with all of the hits, and while I have a power charge from charge regulation, we will have 100% Critical Strike. And we also have around 800% multiplier with all of our power charges. So Garuka's result make it so it bifurcates to around 1700 or something like that. Then overextend to get even more critical damage bonus, and then close combat for general more damage. You can also put concentrated attack or something like that. I have been trying different ones. Close combat seems kind of good, but maybe concentrated is better because sometimes you are jumping from one place to another and maybe don't get the full effect of this. Then Wind Dancer with Armor Break and Armor Explosion. This is, I don't think, that much needed because it doesn't hit that hard. It just sounds cool, and sometimes it goes from one mob to another and kind of catapults. Maybe you put even more damage there. Then Close Combat again. Blindside, it can proc blind, but we get more critical damage bonus and more chance to treat enemies that are blind. This one has quite a bit of critical hit chance from itself, 48, and then we'll get that 50% extra. And also Life Leech, 15% extra physical thingy. We get a lot of Life Leech from it. And then my Wind Serpent's Fury, that I also have to get a better spear from it. I don't have crit or anything crazy, but ideally I would get more damage on it, and of course critical strike chance. This is to use my frenzy charges, and it has heightened charges, so sometimes you get 20% chance for it to be doubled in effect. So instead of shooting 6 serpents that I will do with my 6 frenzy charges, I will shoot 12. Then same thing, overextend, blindside, and this one has exists right now. So it has quite a bit of critical hit chance when we change to it. Of course, it has only 5% basic. You do want an Akoyan one, you can get at least to 10%, would be ideal. And I'm also not using a shield for some reason, but I will eventually. And those are all of our gems. Now, of course, we have my weapon. The weapon, you want as much physical damage as possible, critical hit chance, melee skills, and bonus. Bonus can be super stronger than the one I have now. So this is a weak one weapon. I really haven't replaced it, but I should. I actually sold an 800 DPS one before with plus 4. It was only 2 divines. So if you want a better weapon than this, it won't take like more than 4 or 5. In other ways though, this chest 3 resists and also good evasion energy shield, and the corruption gives a little bit extra life. But we are still using life, it's not bad to have it. My rings are both rings with all resistances and cold. Ideally you get flat cold and percentage cold maybe, or flat lining and percentage lining, or whatever you want. Even you can get even percentage chaos, that will work fine, or evasion, that's good. And these necks are actually way cheaper than they seem. This one was like 10 divines, and it gives us a ton of energy shield, global defenses that work with evasion, and extra energy shield for my equipped body armor. Our proper threats haven't changed much. I have a 2 socketed ones that are nothing crazy. I just put the resistances of them. Hit force the same, some resistances, and then soul tether. This works quite well when you have more damage, so if I get a better weapon, I'm going to have less issues with leech. Now let me show you some bossing clips, and then we will do a kind of fast map, nothing crazy like 4 mods and in a random thing. So let's go back into this one, and this is like clearing, and now I'm going to put them without sound, but this is tier 3 Olroth. This dropped me a 10 divine neck, spoilers kind of. And what do we have here? We have, let me put it on full screen so you can see even better. And let me take my camera off so you can actually see the live. Now we have, of course, killed the first phase. And we have quite a bit of power charges and also frenzy charges. Some purple flames from killing mobs. I actually misplay a little bit here. So I almost die because of that. And as you can see, my energy shield is around 5,000. This is because of charge regulation. And when we spend power charges, we also get some extra energy shield percentage. So I did get hit by around 3,000 there and survived. But I have no armor, so that's something to keep in mind. Now here, as you can see, I have even 60 volatility stacks. I have to pop them. That's the idea, but I don't. And I let them pop by design, and even forgot to use as you can see here, I also forgot to use the chaos one, and we still completely destroyed him. Those 7 million were not even a problem. Now let's go into another one. This is the King of the Mist, and here I'm already using my new builder. And King of the Mist is kind of an anti-melee fight, so if you see me, I spend most of the time just running away. I have to, of course, stand there so I don't get stunned. He also doesn't hit very hard, so it helps quite a bit. But as you can see there, I got around 2,000 energy shield from my leech, and then I'm using that thing that I told you about, the ancestral call thingy. Now I should have not used my empower here, because now I'm going to pop my things. Didn't kill it in one go. Also didn't have as many power charges, so we are just going to destroy it normally. Nothing crazy. And then let's go into the tier 3 bridge boss, our boy Chess. Same thing, we are building our power charges. We get hit because we are bad at the game. We don't die because energy shield is OP. Then of course we dodge that. And here I am building my normal things. And then I'm going to pop my volatility. Here as you can see I popped it twice very fast. And here once again I forget to use my other empower. So as you might see, gameplay is not stellar, but we do kill everything that we need to kill. Now as for the mapping itself, you saw me using Ice Strike. Now I'm going to show you Whirling Slash. We're going to use one of not with extra chaos, not with temporal chains. We have even one without temporal chains. I should have prepared the well, whatever, damage is extra, who cares. I'm not going to do the whole map, but just so you have an idea, the first thing we begin doing with a map, we are going to use our Hand of Chayula on a bump and get some power charges and our charge staff going. You can see it does seem a little bit silly, just going around all the time, but that is mainly how we go around. Also, thanks to having that, we get a lot of volatility, and we also get the power charges from our big boy hate forge. And thanks to having 5,000 energy shield, we don't die that much, so that's very good. Of course, having like 70% effective evasion works quite a bit. We also keep our flames of Chayula quite high. Most of the time we won't have much problems. Of course, when we get to an abyss, that is when I'm kinda be stopping there. There we go, that's the abyss. But Flicker sends you wherever it wants. I'm not using Infernal Cry that much because it's not really needed. But here on the Abyss, unless you get the full thingy, you can just tank it. Tank most mobs there see the full thingy, so you can't recover anything. Of course, don't forget to use our Flicker Strike until we get stunned. Can pop our volatility thingies, because it pops quite a bit. Now, would you be able to do 6 mod maps and everything with this build? No idea. But for now, I feel very safe and I haven't died in quite a while actually. Last time I died was actually to the monkey in a map. As you can see, even when our energy shield goes down, or we get stunned, or many things, we don't have as many problems as you might expect. We just go round and round, and when you see your energy shield going down, you can just flicker. You get it all back up. Remember to pop volatility, of course. It can be a little bit annoying. Like, my idea was to have like a custom crit setup that popped the volatility, but it seems volatility can only work on attacks. So that kind of rained on my parade. Now for any other things that I'm going to show you, lastly, the talent tree. It actually hasn't changed one bit from before because I haven't leveled that much. The last points that we are going to get, as I talked about before, are going to be we're going to be cooked. This is going to be a lot of damage because it's 15, 15, 15, and then 60. Then this jewel here, this jewel here, and I think that would be it. Now, which jewels we want to use? We want to use one of the Conqueror jewel thingies over here, and we get +1 power charge or cool goodies, and a prism or belief, and a megalomaniac. A prism or belief and megalomaniacs are going to be super pricey. I think the cheapest +3 flicker right now it's around 90 divines, and if someone buys that one, the next one is 140. So who knows? Now another thing that we may be able to do is change points a little bit around, but I'm not going to ever give up on my frenzy charges for Wind Serpent Strike. The one thing that you may see, of course, that we have now is this point over here. Enhanced reflexes gives us some deflection, but I don't really have a lot. I have like 12%. Yeah, chance to deflect 20%. You can see it's nothing crazy. And for other things, the block base is of course very good. Now that cap is 50, having 13 or 15 if you want to. Remember, you can divine this with the omen. It's kind of good. Now I could whittle an Omen of Light and then Ancient Jawbone for tier 1 flat and Homo Exalt for crit damage, but I don't really want to do all of that with this weapon with a tier 4 and tier 3. I'm going to try to get an exceptional one, and then I will see you on the next video.